Texas is one of the states with the most restrictive abortion laws in the country, and Representative Jasmine Crockett has been calling out exactly who's responsible.
I don't want my governor, I don't want A.G. Paxton, I definitely don't want Ted Cruz telling me what to do with my body if my doctor has a recommendation, because the last time I checked, I don't need any of them to be my doctor. I don't want them to be my elected officials. The problem is that we have an attorney general who should have been impeached, but we have spineless senators that sit in the Senate. They did not take him out. And it's amazing the people that decide that they want to function above the law. And that's exactly what he's trying to do. This woman went to court. A judge ordered that there would be a temporary restraining order. And what did he decide to do? He basically said, ignore that. I don't care. While he currently has felonies pending against him where he is evading prosecution.
I am a woman out of the state of Texas. There's no way that I am going to have a conversation and not talk about reproductive access. So out of curiosity, would you consider the medical management of a miscarriage to be potentially a life-saving usage? Yes or no?
I have to decline to answer that because
that is
it's
perfectly
under
fine.
Adjudication by the Supreme Court.
That is perfectly fine. I'm gonna tell you yes, but I'm gonna give you another question that you can answer. Would you consider erectile dysfunction as a life-saving usage for Viagra?
Not life-saving.
Not life-saving. Okay, well, I'm going to tell you that based on my research, that mifepristone actually has life-saving characteristics, yet Viagra doesn't. And for those that don't know, Viagra, from my understanding, is actually nearly 10 times greater as it relates to risk of death. Yet for some reason, it's not sitting in the court right now. And I do appreciate the fact that you laid out that when it comes down to getting drugs approved, they actually go through trials. It's not just randomness. You take the randomness, you then say, maybe there's some evidence here, and then you put it through the ringer. After putting it through the ringer for decades, women's lives have been saved. And as a representative from the area that Roe v. Wade actually initiated, I am appalled because for whatever reason, some people want us to go back to horse and buggy in this country. And I think since now maybe we have the internet, maybe we should take advantage of it. And we shouldn't say that we should remain in the times of horse and buggy. And so with that, thank you for the work that the FDA does. I respect your research. I recognize that the courts don't do research. I also recognize that this chamber seemingly doesn't care about research. But because of the work that you do, there are lives that are being saved. And I need you to be funded to the fullest extent to make sure that we can continue to save American lives. Thank you.
We reported to you the latest report by ProPublica of a woman dying in Texas because she could not receive proper medical care after a miscarriage because that proper medical care is now a crime in Texas, thanks to Donald Trump. Like other women who have died after having a miscarriage, the latest story involves a woman who already had a child, a daughter, who will someday grow up to know who really killed her mother. And now we are learning about 18-year-old Nevaeh Crane, who died trying to access emergency care in Texas.
When Donald Trump overturned Roe v. Wade, Texas Republicans banned abortion even in cases of rape, incest, and threats to the mother's health. Since then, 26,000 Texas women have been forced to give birth to their rapist baby. Infant and maternal mortality have spiked. Pregnant women with life-threatening complications are being told to wait in emergency room parking lots until they go into sepsis. This has never been about life. This has always been about controlling women. In some Texas counties, as y'all know well, Republican politicians are trying to ban women from using public highways to travel out of state to get an abortion. Trump is saying he's going to let red states monitor women's pregnancies. And in their latest platform, the Texas GOP calls for the death penalty for women who get abortion care. Republican extremism is killing women in Texas. And now they are promising to take those deadly policies nationwide.
The Texas Health and Safety Code prohibits abortions outright, except in certain narrow circumstances, and prohibits a person from performing, inducing, or attempting an abortion. Now, on paper, as you've probably heard, there are exceptions, for instance, for the life of the mother, but in practice, no. Women are dying waiting for the care that they require. You probably heard about Gisele Barnica, one of at least 2 pregnant Texas women who died after doctors refused to provide emergency care, exactly as many people, including me, predicted would happen. And with Donald Trump returning to the White House, there is a very real risk of a national abortion ban, which means that the onus and the work is on us to get together, to organize, to convince people, and to make sure that the protections necessary are passed into law in as many states as possible to stop that sort of injustice from happening.